project today. Today I'm going to be transforming my hallway, which is a pretty small, boring space. So these are closets on this side, and then up there are cabinets where I store seasonal decor and then just kind of clothes that I'm not using for the season, things that I don't need to touch for a while. It has a door which leads into the bedroom, and I wanted to decorate both sides of it, but I'm gonna start with this side. I feel like with spaces like this, a lot of people look at it and think that there's not a lot that you could do here, or you should keep it plain and boring, but I feel like this is an opportunity to do something really fun just because it is such a confined, compact space that you can really put a lot of personality here, and it doesn't really have an impact on what you do in the rest of the apartment, where if you put a color in the living room, for example, then everything in the living room has to match that. Nothing needs to match what's in this hallway. That's my personal opinion. I don't know about anyone else, but I saw this wallpaper from Rifle Paper Co. and fell in love with it. I think that it's so stunning, so gorgeous. It's really fun and dramatic, and I'm here for the drama. And I just feel like in a hallway like this, putting this kind of wallpaper up will just add a whole different flair to the space. It has like all the flowers. It has a ladybug on it too, if you can see the little ladybug. I feel like this is the perfect space to do something like this and just make this a super fun, dramatic hallway. You know, a portal from the living room to the bedroom, if you will. So the first thing that I want to do is paint the trim a color that complements the wallpaper. So I pulled this yellow. I have a lot of paint samples in my home, as you know. So I'm thinking about doing yellow. I was considering an orangey color, but I'm concerned about orange and black looking too much like Halloween. Like, I really want to avoid that. I was also thinking about doing a blue, but I'm just like not really a blue girl. I think I've said that before. I just don't really like blue. So I'm thinking one of the yellow samples that I have. This is Sunny Days by Benjamin Moore, and this is the butter yellow. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like a softer yellow. I also put it up there. I tried it out in a couple different spots. The Sunny Days is on the right, and then the butter is on the left. My thought process for this is to do the trim, this darker yellow. It's just a shade darker. It's the same hue, like it's on the same strip, paint strip. It's just like one shade darker. So I think it's the same kind of warmth or tone. I don't know exactly, but this is just one shade darker than this. So I'm gonna do the trim, the darker yellow, and then I think I'll do the door and maybe the cabinets, the lighter yellow, like this darker, this lighter, just to give it like a little bit of dimension so it's not all just like one shade of yellow, you know what I mean? I'm just making this up as I go along. That's the hard truth about everything I do. I just make it up as I go along, and sometimes you could probably tell, but sometimes it works out. Trust the process, guys.
Where did the time go? How do we move so far away? Holding on, how much can we both take when love is an echo? I can't hear what you're saying when love is an echo.
I know I could probably use like a rolling brush instead and it would be faster, but I like the control of a small brush. Okay, I just finished doing the first coat of the trim, and now I'm gonna paint the doors the lighter yellow color. I was thinking maybe I should finish the trim first, but I'm just gonna do one coat of everything and see how it looks. So the update is I have painted the door and I don't like it. I don't like it, and I think I'm just gonna do white. I'm gonna do white as the contrast. And I think it'll just look brighter in here. I think when I add the other yellow, it's just too much going on. So I'm gonna paint it back to white for now. And then if I decide afterwards to paint it again, then I will paint it again. But for now, she's just gonna stay white. So I finished painting the trim last night. Here's what it looks like. It's this really nice sunny yellow. I ended up just going with the trim, not the doors or anything. TBD. I also painted these pipes. which I got a little on the wall, but that's okay. I have to do more close to the top. I just did not get around to it. And then I have to take down my little houses that I got in Istanbul. Flower shop, the meat shop. I already took a couple down. This little fish stand, I got it from this amazing little store near Galata Tower in Istanbul. And I just love them. But I'm gonna take them down and see what I want to do. This one is a florist shop. All of the command strips are down. I always feel so terrible ripping down command strips because they're so expensive, but they serve their purpose. But now I must come to a decision about the wallpaper because I'm feeling very hesitant just because it's so polarizing. I love it. I love this wallpaper. I think it's so gorgeous. I'm like a little scared of the black background, I'm not gonna lie, but I think it looks gorgeous. I'm just gonna let it hang here for a little while and like walk by a couple times and see how I feel. I just think it's so stunning. And at the end of the day, it's only this wall up there, and then this side is gonna stay white. Like these doors are gonna stay white. And the door is gonna stay white too for now, because we tried the yellow and I didn't like it. So really, it's just these two walls. You know what I mean? So it's really not that big a deal. I don't know why I'm talking in a British accent, but sometimes I do that when I'm feeling indecisive or nervous or whatever. And then I'd paint this door frame a different color. I just didn't want to paint it yellow right now because I still have the squiggle up in the kitchen. And I just thought that it looked really ketchup and mustard. But once I switch that, I'm gonna work on other projects and then come back to this. That's my plan for the day. So I made a very exciting purchase, or at least for me, it's a very exciting purchase. I bought a flower frog from a small business on Instagram. I've been following this creator for a while. Their business is called Saint Bingo, and they make these really cool, very kitschy looking flower frogs. And I missed a couple of their drops because it sells out really fast, but I was right on time for this one. They have like custom tape too. I love all the details. Let's see how she looks. I can't even remember what color I got. We'll find out. Well, I got red. Makes sense. I do like red. I've had one of these for a while because I always see people doing really cool arrangements, and I just feel like little details like these make such a big difference. Okay, here it is. Ah, this is so cool. And how it works, in case you're not familiar, you get a jar. I'm just gonna use my Weck jar for this, I think. And then you sit this on top and you thread the stems of the flowers through these little holes, and it helps the arrangement keep its shape better. So it makes it look like you can put things moving in different directions, just not like the flowers are all clumped together in the middle. So I picked up some flowers from the grocery store down the street this morning, and I'm gonna make a little arrangement. Yay! I got some tulips, some red tulips, some pink peonies. They had lots of flowers because it's Mother's Day on Sunday, so they're really amping it up. You can tell the inventory is dropping for Mother's Day, and the selection was great. And then these yellow ones, which I can't remember what they're called. They have like a funny little name, like dilly dots or something fun like that. It's like a name that matches what they look like. And I think I'm just gonna do all of these. I love those colors together, pink, red, and yellow. And I'm just gonna throw it together and hope for the best. But I love these Weck jars. I use these drink iced coffee. I use them for floral arrangements. I use them to store things in the fridge, like Tupperware. Great purchase, could not recommend more. I've actually been in the process of getting rid of all of my plastic Tupperware just because I feel like it looks icky really fast. Oh, I love this. This is so cool. That is such a vibe. I want to take a floral arrangement class. I feel like that would be so fun and such a nice way to support artists who do this as their trade. You know what I mean? I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know it's gonna look cool. And I think that's the energy we have to take into a lot of things we do in life. Let's see, I'm just gonna start playing around and we can readjust. Oh my God, I love this. Okay, I'm gonna cut this a little bit. I know there's a science to doing floral arrangements, like different heights things should be. I should have kept these a little longer. Regret. I have regret about the little dilly-dally things, but the tulips will be long. Fun. Maybe I'll do one a little shorter. I wish I got the French tulips instead of the regular ones because they were just longer and like, they look more luxurious. This is so cool. Maybe I'd put one more tulip here.
I left the hall light on.
Okay.
In case you come
So
back home.
fresh.
I sent a text that
I'm gonna do my strawberry base for the rest of them. Cute. Yay. Let me set these up.
oh, won't you come back home? Why won't you come back home? I've been sleeping with the light on tonight.
Okay, so I don't know what happened, but I randomly just decided to start doing the wallpaper. I texted a bunch of my friends, like my trusted confidants who kind of have the same aesthetic with me, and asked them if they liked it, and it was like 90% people like it. So that's enough for me. I already did one wall. I'm just gonna try to finish one side of the hallway today and feel accomplished with that because it's nice and sunny out today. And then it's gonna take like a roll and a quarter maybe to do a half the hallway. But I really like this, so I don't care. I think I was worried too much about what other people would think, which I'm trying to get over. By the way, I decided to do strippable wallpaper this time because the peel and stick doesn't always work with my walls because they're textured. So I have issues with the peel and stick like falling off or not adhering all the way. So I'm trying this. Apparently it'll come off when it's time. I've never used it before, but it's a problem for my future self. So you just paint this on and then stick the wallpaper on, and then when it's time to come off, you can use like a steamer or water and it'll activate the glue and make it peel off easily. I watched videos, it looked pretty easy, so. So here's what the progress looks like after one day. Look at all that wallpaper. This was just about probably a full roll of paper, well, maybe like 3/4 of a roll. It looks amazing. I also bought a new light fixture that I'm gonna try to switch out / maybe hire a TaskRabbit to switch out. It's yellow and it hangs down, so I think it'll look cool in here. And I'm also gonna switch out the light switch plate for something else. I still have like one little corner down there that I need to do. But I love it. Love. I think I'm gonna paint this is like the breaker switch. I'm gonna paint it or I'm gonna try to hide it somehow. But you don't really see it because of how the door is. Good morning. Another rainy, cold day in New York. Someone clearly missed the memo on the April showers bring May flowers motto, because it's been April showers bring May showers and May flowers. We've had really pretty flowers too, so I can't even say that. But we're still getting so much rain and I am ready for summer. Oh my God, guys, look, I matched my bathroom. Green and red. I didn't even do this on purpose. It's a vibe. Today I'm getting coffee with my friend Masha, and I'm so excited. Masha's one of my newer friends that I met in the last 2 or 3 years, and I met her through weightlifting at the gym. I've met a lot of my friends in the city through weightlifting. I know I talked about this on here before, but I used to do competitive Olympic style weightlifting, which is snatch and clean and jerk. I wasn't an Olympian. And I think a lot of people get confused when you say Olympic weightlifting, but Olympic weightlifting is a style of weightlifting that focuses on 2 specific lifts, a snatch and a clean and jerk, which they do in the Olympics. And it's just a way to classify that sport as opposed to like powerlifting or just like regular weightlifting, bodybuilding, weight training. So I did that for 5 to 6 years, like most of my 20s, I competed in weightlifting. And then in 2020, kind of a mixture of everything, like the pandemic, burnout in general. The gym that I went to closed and moved locations, and a lot of people kind of fell off. And I just never really picked it up with the same intensity that I had before. I still weightlift these days, not so often, but I still like squat and do some bodybuilding stuff. But here and there, I'll do some of the classic lifts, but I'm not doing it nearly with the same dedication that I used to. Look at this new palette that I got. It's from Morphe. I'm obsessed with this color pink. It's so beautiful. So cute. I feel so lucky to have discovered weightlifting as a sport in New York City because it collects a lot of people in different fields or with different jobs, but they have a similar kind of mentality. Like they're very driven, usually kind of weird and kind of quirky, because it's an odd thing to be so obsessed with like just doing 2 specific movements really, really well. So we usually have similar characteristics, like mentally or emotionally, but we could be in totally different jobs, like totally different demographics. It's been like one of the greatest blessings of my life, honestly. Some of my best friends I've met through weightlifting. I was actually not athletic at all when I was growing up. I never did any sports. When I was really little, I did soccer and baseball and stuff, but when I was in middle school and high school, I didn't really do anything. And then in college, I didn't do anything either, but when I moved to the city, I didn't have any friends when I moved here, and I didn't really know how to make friends. And at the time, I was still drinking, so I would go to the bar a lot, thinking that I would make friends at the bar. And in case you don't know this, you don't really make friends at the bar. The friends you make at the bar aren't real friends. But that's all that I had, and I kind of got to a point where I got tired of that, and I just envisioned a better life for myself. I also wanted to get into shape and just feel better. The thing about me is that if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do the most extreme, like craziest thing that I can do. So I was thinking of different ways that I could exercise, and I was like, I could go for runs, or I could do like YouTube videos in my apartment. And I knew that I would never be serious about it unless I did the craziest thing. So I signed up for an intro CrossFit class. And I remember I was dating this guy at the time, and he told me, you'll never be able to do CrossFit. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna do it for a couple days, and then you're gonna quit. And I was like, bet. And like I broke up with him at the same time that I started CrossFit. I went to the first class, and I remember we did like squats and wall balls, which is when you like throw a weighted ball at a target on the wall. It was so hard. I was sweating. I was so out of my element, like a fish out of water, but it was so motivating to be around so many people who were just so strong and so driven. And I knew, I don't know, I just like had this feeling that that's where I was supposed to be. And at the time, signing up for a CrossFit membership, it was so expensive for me because I was making like minimum wage pretty much at my fashion industry job. But I sacrificed going out and drinking and doing all this stuff that I was doing. And instead I put the money toward the exercise classes. And thank God I did, because that changed my life. I met so many people who were so successful that I never would have been in the same room as before if it wasn't for this situation. And I saw a way that I could live my life that was different than the way that I lived my life then, because growing up in a small town, it's hard to imagine something other than what you have. And I never really met anyone who had real, like, crazy success or who was doing very well for themselves. I met them and I became friends with them, and I saw the way that they were living their lives and the things that they were doing and where they were traveling, and it inspired me. It changed the whole trajectory of my life. I did CrossFit for a few years and I just really liked the weightlifting aspect of it, so I ended up joining the weightlifting team, and a lot of my friends were on the weightlifting team too, so that had part of it also. And yeah, that's like 8-9 years of my life that were amazing. Anyway, we're going to this place in the city that I just discovered a few days ago. It's called Calais, K-A-L-E-I, collectible vintage design for the playfully curious. Gallery, event space, coffee bar. 159 Bowery in New York. And it looks like it's just a very fun, interesting space. From what I see on their Instagram, it's kind of like a third space. They also sell the furniture. I don't know. It looks like a vibe. Art galleries in Tribeca have open studios, which means you could just walk in and out of these amazing galleries and check out their exhibits for free. You don't have to sign up or anything. You just show up and check them out. Let's go be artsy. It's such a fun thing to do. I feel like it's something that you wouldn't know existed if you didn't seek it out or just stumble upon it. So I guess I got lucky. there's this stoop on the Upper East Side that's decorated with hundreds of flowers made out of Legos, and I want to go check it out. It's raining today, which kind of stinks. I would prefer to go see it in the sun, but can't wait. You know, sometimes you just gotta go do things. So we're gonna go check it out. The building is actually owned by an influencer. Her handle is Stoop and the City, I think, and she's been decorating it for a while with all different things. Like Mackenzie Child sponsored it one time, and she did like an Easter theme, Christmas theme, like she always decorates it for the holidays. And now Lego did like a takeover of the stoop for Mother's Day, and apparently there's like thousands of Lego flowers on it. Online it looks gorgeous, so my hopes are high for a beautiful little stoop. That's all I really want, like an outdoor space to decorate. I'm manifesting it so hard. Hopefully one day soon I'll have that. I think about it all the time. Okay, here we are. It's on East 78th between 2nd and 3rd. Look at how beautiful this is. These are all Lego flowers. Thousands and thousands of Lego flowers, even the planters. She even has over her garbage cans decorated with little roses. And then the sign says, Happy Mother's Day, no watering necessary. Snap a pic and tag us. Lego Botanicals, Lego Stoop in the City.
I left the hall light on in case you come back home. I sent a text that I was wrong. Oh, won't you come back home? Why won't you come back home? I've been sleeping with the light on dim. The dark feels heavier without.
That was amazing. 10 out of 10 stoop. I think the best part is how it brings the community together, because there were so many people admiring and taking pictures and like taking pictures of each other. So I feel like that's the best part about these things, is that it really is a uniting force. You know what I mean? But definitely worth it. If you're in the city, take a trip up to the Upper East Side and come see the Lego stoop. So we've reached the end of another vlog. I hope you guys like this one. I'm having a bit of a hard time sticking to a schedule for my weekly vlogs. I was originally doing Friday and then Sunday, and now I've been doing Monday, and Monday's been working out really well for me. I've just kind of been trying to see with my schedule and just how things fall, what's the best for like doing things during the week and then having the time to edit it so that it makes for good content. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna keep playing around with it. So the days might change a little bit. I have been liking Monday, so I might stick with Monday for the time being, but I'll send out a little note, like one of the posts on YouTube. I did that yesterday, just to let you guys know, but I'm doing my best. It's surprisingly challenging to juggle all of like the Instagram posting and the TikTok posting, and then like actually doing the projects in my house, and then the editing takes a long time, but I'm giving myself grace and I appreciate your patience. But I will see you guys next week. I hope you have an awesome week. It's gonna rain again in New York for like 5 days, but it's okay. We're just gonna embrace it. Have a good week. Bye.